You have questions, we have answers. This is Jane Muller.
And this is Ken Muller. Welcome to our show, all about real estate with Ken and Jane. Today, Jane, we are going to turn the tide a little bit. We're going to talk about a very important community program that's dear and near to our hearts in East Brunswick. We have with us as our guest today, Howard Alexander. He's the director and the founder of the Buddy basketball program in East Brunswick, which is for children with special needs. Howie, welcome to our show.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Jane. Good morning, Ken. Thank you for having me today.
Yes. So you've been with this program for a long time, and it's a wonderful cause. So please tell us back how it started. It's been like the 21st season, I think, just concluded. So
Correct.
Take us back to...
So let me take you back a little bit further. So Fast Break Buddy Ball is an offshoot of Fast Break Basketball. And so two gentlemen, Matt Corton and Todd Levy, started the program a long time ago, 28, 29 years ago. And through their vision, we looked at so many different things along the way. And somewhere in those first 7 years, it was actually them who decided, based upon speaking to one of our coaches, Ward Byrne, that we need a buddy ball program here in town. And, fortunately, Ward being a teacher and also having a special needs child, they were able to, we spoke to Ward, and he devised a program specifically for special needs children. And it's been just an amazing thing to see it grow throughout the years. I could tell you we started our first year 21 years ago with about 20 kids in the program. And now this last year we had close to 90.
Wow.
That's great. And do the kids, the participation, are they limited to East Brunswick, or it's really for anybody in the surrounding area?
No, so we don't limit it. We've had people from as far north as Scotch Plains, down south to Trenton area, into Staten Island. We keep it open. We welcome the kids from different communities.
Yeah.
But I could tell you, 85% of the kids are East Brunswick residents. Mm-hmm. So we're catering to that, and to their needs, and that was one of the reasons why we started the program as well, because we were looking at what we can do and what the needs were of East Brunswick and the surrounding community. So we were able to handle those needs, and thus it was the start of just an amazing program.
I have to say, how you and I have something in common, right? We both was awarded by the mayor award, and that time when you were the ceremony, I saw that very moving video. I just like a lot of people, I see tears in eyes. That was really moving video. Yeah.
And it's entirely volunteer, and I guess you would probably say that the greatest satisfaction you get is the joy in the hearts of those kids and their families, seeing them out there participating, and you feel like you're really doing something meaningful for that whole community. That joy is you can't put a price tag on it.
No, Ken, you hit the nail on the head, and thank you, Jane, and congratulations to you as well, and also congratulations. We should be congratulating you. Didn't you just get another achievement? Was it 15 years?
Yeah, this is.
She gets an achievement every year. I think she's posting.
A lot of time, right, Howie? The award I win every year is based on the performance, but nothing compared to what you guys did for the community.
Yeah,
that's really amazing.
Because I was looking,
you changed lives.
Yeah, I was looking at your profile. You do have a full-time job. I think you're a manager, director of a big environmental cleanup company, and and that takes time. So for you to do this, and that's just wonderful that you're so generous with your time and
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. Mm-hmm. But you ask anybody, to do something, you always look for the person who's the busiest. Because they figure out ways of getting things done. Yep. And realistically, yes, Ken, you were 100% correct. The satisfaction that you get on the faces of our buddies. So let me just explain. Our buddies are a special needs community. They could be autistic, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. There's so many more, special needs. Yep. The kids range in age from as young as 5 to as old as 56.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very interesting dynamic. And so normally what happens is our buddies, we've had a lot of buddies who have returned year after year. Mm-hmm. We've been pretty fortunate. We've had in our 21-year history over 1,000 buddies that have gone through the program.
Wow.
But we also, very important factor, are our PALs. And our PALs are junior high school and high school, children who come and volunteer their time week after week, a lot of them year after year, and to work with our special needs children. And what is so great about that is most of them come in and they're very apprehensive because they just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And because maybe some of them look at it as they're different, but they're not different. They're the same as everybody else's children. They're just so much, love around. And so by the time, when they initially start to the end of the season, their whole perspective changes. So not only are we changing the lives of our special needs community, but also the volunteers. Mm-hmm. And some of them go on for it to be their life's profession. And I'm so proud to say my daughter is one of them. Wow. She was a PAL, and she went on to be a autism teacher. Mm-hmm. And you can't be any more proud as a parent than that.
Yeah.
And besides that, you also said it correctly, the parents. Yeah. The parents are so appreciative, and it really becomes a family. Mm-hmm. It's not just going there and teaching basketball, fostering the goodwill, amongst everybody. It's the love that we share week after week is just so evident.
Right. And these buddies, kids or adults, they can return year after year. You have a lot of repeat. It's not like limited. They can come back. They can start at the age of 5 and continue until they're in their 50s, 60s, or however old they are. There's no limit on or restriction on that.
They probably can come back as a volunteer too. Once they become a PAL, once they become an expert, been there a few years, they can definitely give back.
Right. There's all different levels,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you see. I'm sure you see the skill set and the whole improve, right? Like with anybody, practicing it makes perfect, and you're going to see that improvement in them as well, right? The ones that come back, they're getting better at basketball, and they're building a lot of camaraderie and friendships and
the confidence
in themselves.
And, absolutely. And the thing that's so unique about our program, and a lot of it is because of our architect, Ward Byrne. God rest his soul. There wasn't a person who didn't love him, and because of his knowledge and experience and having a special needs child, it made it easier. And we have followed, and we've had to alter the blueprint along the way, as things have happened along, throughout these 21 years.
Yeah.
But I could tell you, we have. I mentioned the different types of special needs, but we have a lot of kids who are in wheelchairs as well.
Yes.
And one of the biggest parts of the program is the positive reinforcement. So, yes, you are correct what you said. They can come back, and a lot of them do come back year after year. And they, some of them teach us. We've had buddies, special needs children, who have come back, not as buddies, but as PALs, and have worked with special needs kids. So for us, that is just a winning solution to get kids to keep on progressing. We've had kids, our buddies as well, who have played for years and then have gone on to play in regular, the regular rec league.
Wow.
And that takes a lot of doing, but we've been fortunate that way that we've had those types of individuals that have just made their mark on the program.
Wow.
It's remarkable. Yeah.
21 years, a long time. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
When you love something,
Yeah.
it seems like it's brand new.
Yep.
Yeah. So 21 years ago, take us back to when this program first started. How did you get the word out there? I guess back then we didn't have as much social media. We really had just cell phones, and back then I think the cell phones were still the pocket phones. So you had to. So how did you get the good word out there? 21 years ago, back in December or whatever, 2003. When it started, how did you get the news out there that, hey, we're forming this buddy program? It's going to be an offshoot of the Fast Break, but it's going to be geared towards kids with special needs, et cetera.
Yeah, so a lot of it was word of mouth. A lot of it was the connections, from Ward, knowing a lot of the other parents in town. And like I said, it started just with only 20 children. And then it just, as each year came and went, we just kept on speaking to more and more people. We started, we got the word out everywhere. We sent flyers to, the various special needs schools. We spoke in different communities, so this way we were able to promote. And because of the goodwill that it was, we were forming, people gravitated to us. So it was really a two-way street that way. Yeah. And to this day, it continues because a lot of times if you have one person in the program, they know at least 10 other special needs children,
So
and they start talking to them and their families.
Right. And for the listeners out there, we're going to take a short break, but please give your contact info in case any of our listeners out there want to find out or enroll in the program.
Sure, thank you. So there's many ways of getting in touch with us. So we have a Facebook site if you want to really see what the program is like, and that's Fast Break Basketball Buddy Ball. And you can go on there and you can see pictures that we've been posting since 2009 or something like that. You can see videos. We've been covered by East Brunswick Television. Our website is fastbreakbasketball.org.
Okay.
And once you get on there, you can, go to the appropriate, Buddy Ball tab and then just pose, questions. It comes to us. And then we also have a telephone number, and I'm sorry to look down, but it's 640-250-8975.
Okay, we'll give you a chance later in the show to repeat that, but we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after these messages. Okay, welcome back to our show. We're joined today by Howie Alexander. He's the director and the founder of the East Brunswick Buddy Program, which is geared for children with special needs. It's a basketball clinic and program. So, Howie, let's talk about that. From when to when does the program run, and what is a typical session like for these kids?
Okay, so we've had to alter, throughout the years, because of, especially for COVID. But our program starts in the middle of November and it runs through the middle of March. We have one session every Saturday while the schools are open. If the schools are closed, unfortunately, we have no access. But so we have, approximately 12 sessions, during the season. It goes from 10:30 to 12 o'clock. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer. But a typical session of what we do is, when the kids come in, everybody gets a name tag, with their name on there. And because name recognition is so important, for everybody. That's, as I was saying before, this is more of a family, concept. And we want people just to feel good about each other. And so they come in and the coach, our head coach, who's just a wonderful human being, Sean Donahue, he pairs up the buddies and the pals. Some of them have worked with some of the pals, with some of the buddies year over year, so that's easy. But then we also take a look at if it's a tall buddy, you can't put them with a young young pal. So we try to match up as best as possible, and a lot of it is also gut feel with our wheelchair, children. As I mentioned before, we always have two people helping a child in a wheelchair, and the reason for it is because one pal will push the wheelchair, and the other one will help them dribble. Because a lot of them don't have use of their arms and nonverbal as well. Some of them are, but we'll dribble for them. We'll put their hand on the basketball, and then we'll dribble. And same thing when it comes time to shoot. So this way they feel the sensation of actually playing basketball. And because of the name tags, we look at it as a positive reinforcement. That's really a huge goal of the program, for as much positive reinforcement as possible. Then we all circle up, at center court, and then we start exercising calisthenics for about 10 minutes. And sometimes the buddies will help with the call out, it's time for jumping jacks or whatever it might be. And, we'll do that for about 10 minutes. And then we break up into different, areas, along the line, all three courts, And so so just say court one is passing. So we'll have a whole group of buddies and pals working together and passing the ball to each other to learn how to pass. And, what that also does, especially for special needs, children, it's helping them move their arms, move their legs. And it's just so important to have that and to move those muscles. The next area, could be shooting, could be dribbling. We have different stations, that we just keep on rotating. So this way, every kid has an opportunity to learn those skills as we go along in the session. One thing I have to say is we did recognize, because we have little kids. And they can't shoot and reach a normal 10-foot basket.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we recognized that a number of years ago, and we bought baskets so that they're literally only 4 or 5 feet high. So the kids in the wheelchairs, or the 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids, they're able to shoot and hit a basket. And just to see the expressions on their face is incredible. So we'll keep on doing that and go through the entire, all the stations, give everybody enough time. And then for the last 20 minutes, we normally stop, and then we set up a game on each one of the courts. So this way we end every single session by having a game. Once the game is over, and I know I'm being very verbose, but once the game is over, then we circle up again. And so before they leave, we go around and with the microphone, and we ask everybody, what's your name and who's your pal? That's how we started it. Ironically, this year it changed a little bit, because we started giving the microphone to the buddies, and they just took off. And hey, everybody, we're having a great time at Buddy Ball. What do you think? And it just became, each one of them wanted to speak.
Wow.
And so what's so important about that for us is that as they're leaving, they're feeling that much better about themselves. And that's a huge goal of ours, to have people feel better about themselves as they're leaving than when they walked in the door.
Yeah.
Wow, what
I bet
amazing.
there's such a great sense of
Yeah.
self-worth, and I bet they can't wait till the next Saturday session after they look forward to it with eager anticipation because of it must be such a big outlet for them to get out there and they feel a sense of really accomplishment, recognition, getting to participate, all the things that a lot of the people with special needs probably feel they get forgotten about or shut in, but this gives them an opportunity to shine and to really show
Yes.
their skill set and all they can do and accomplish.
Absolutely. Well, inclusion.
Inclusion,
It's all
yeah.
about inclusion.
Inclusion, yeah.
And we don't look at the kids, the children and the adults as anybody different.
Right.
They're all an extension of us. And we've been, like I said, we've been pretty fortunate because we've learned as much from them as they have learned from us. So it's been a win-win all the way around.
And there's been a lot of great friendships that have been forged through the years among the special needs kids and among them and their pals and among you with them. And there's all different friendships and bonds that are going to last a lifetime for them, right? They're meeting through that program. I'm sure there could be a couple of 5-year-olds or it could be elderly people, all different ages, but they're just going to form and bond together, right? Because they're going through something in common. So,
Exactly. Ken, it's so ironic that you said that because one of the things that always has stuck out in my head is the bond. 1 year, the end of 1 year, one of our senior pals obviously was graduating, and he was with this one particular buddy for 5 years. And they became friends outside of Buddy Ball, and they would do things together. And so we have an end of the year awards breakfast, and so I gave Nick, the microphone just to say a few words, and he was just beautiful words. But then I gave the microphone to Sam, and what Sam said, and Sam is the buddy,
mhm.
and the words that came pouring out, the love. And I'm telling you, it's the first time I was standing up there and I started crying.
Tears, right?
No, I started crying, and I gave the microphone to somebody else, and he said, "Cue the music." But that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Once you start working with your buddies, start working with their pals, they become friends, and they look for them to be there week after week, and the parents become so appreciative, of what we're doing for their children, and it really is an outpouring of love.
Yeah. How about support? How can the community and the individuals help support the program? How do you get your funding, or what can people do if they want to donate, or you want to share with us?
Sure. Well, we're always looking for donations. I can tell you that.
Or
We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, 100% volunteer run. So everything we do it because we love the kids, and we love the program, and we wanted to see it continue. So we do a lot of fundraising, throughout the year, a tremendous amount, and we're always looking for sponsors. So we've had corporate sponsors. We'll fill out grants, and hopefully, companies come through and help us. Fast Break Basketball helps offset some of the costs that we incur, but knowing what the families put up, have to, do every single day, they're dealing with their child 24/7, caring for them. We try and take some of the burden away and keep the cost as low as possible.
right.
So that's why we do so much fundraising. And looking for as many sponsors as we can. So if you go onto that fastbreakbasketball.org page,
Yes.
you'll see opportunities where you can help sponsor or donate, and we look for any different ways. We have a lot of Dine to Donate, so we do a lot of just really amazing things. And quite honestly, our board of trustees right now. They're amazing people, and when I tell you we are in this together, and We meet, we talk, like there's nothing else going on in the world. But Nikki Tafalowski,
Yeah.
Rob Tafalowski, Bobby LeMay.
We were at the Daisy breakfast, so we ran into all them. That was
Sure.
a great event that's held annually in the Hilton right in East Brunswick. A great, hopeful, a lot of money was raised for that.
Yeah.
So,
And let me just mention Neil Shaw and Shirley McGowan.
yeah,
and,
sure.
So that's the team of trustees
Right.
today. And they have, a couple of them have a special needs child.
Yeah.
So it just helps keep us grounded and making sure that we're moving in the right direction.
Well, Howie, thank you so much. We are out of time, but again, we want to both thank you personally and all the great volunteers for your tremendous efforts. And, it's remarkable. And we hope and expect that this program will be around a real long time, another 100 years or longer.
Yeah.
It's going into its 22nd year right now. And once again, please just give your phone number again. So if anyone wants to reach out to you.
Sure. The telephone number is 640-250-8975. You can get in touch with us through fastbreakbasketball.org. And you can also visit our Facebook page at Fast Break Basketball Buddy Ball. And thank you so much for having me today. And we didn't even talk about our All-Star game, which is the highlight of our year.
Yeah.
But maybe on another session,
Absolutely.
we'll have an opportunity. And we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you again so much. Hope everyone enjoys the weekend. See you next week.